Welcome to the Brew Crew Podcast.
Welcome back to the Brew Crew Podcast, everyone. This is episode 116. We are in a new location, brand new, but the same. It's still my house.
It is your
it's
house.
A different house. Matt's not here, and that's all right. We will cover down. So I figured if you're up to it, instead of a pregame beer, I brought an extra beer.
Oh, I like
and
that.
We could share it.
That's a great idea.
So it's one of those one bottle types, but the bottle is actually the size of like one regular beer. So probably 16 ounces, I'm guessing. This is 12.7.
12.7. I like that.
12.7. So we'll share this and we'll review it, but then we'll review. So instead of a pregame, we'll do that.
Excellent.
So go ahead.
So it used to be the Guac Pit. Is this still? Have we named it? Have you named this?
No name has been given.
Okay.
No
I
name
suspect it'll come to you over time. So
Yeah.
I don't want.
I think you named the Guac Pit.
I don't know. Did I name it?
I don't remember naming it myself. Maybe you or Matt did, and I liked it, so we kept it.
Maybe I helped, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
what is this?
this is I only remember the one ingredient I bought it for. This is actually the Lost Abbey Brewery. It's called Red Poppy. It's a barrel-aged ale with cherries and poppy seeds.
Man, it smells delicious. You have me with cherry.
Yeah.
I could tell immediately.
Yeah, definitely cherry. Love cherry. Now, I remember I worked at a retirement home when I was younger for a while, and old people love poppy seed salad dressing. I don't know if you know that.
Do you like poppy seed salad dressing? Is that why you got it?
I think it's good, but I don't think it's like the best dressing. But I was interested in how the poppy seeds would affect the beer.
I have no idea how poppy seed would affect the beer.
The dressing itself tastes...
The dressing's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. But I don't really know what a poppy seed tastes like.
I guess I don't know either. It's always like, I've always had them on like a lemon poppy seed muffin. So
Yeah.
it kind of covers the top and it basically just gives it a crunchy texture. Mm-hmm. But I don't recall any flavor that it imparted.
Yeah,
right?
me neither. And I believe Chicago-style hot dogs come with a poppy seed bun.
But I feel like it just adds crunch. It just adds texture.
Just adds texture, yeah. Yeah, on a hot dog it doesn't add anything.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, the beer is delicious.
Yeah, so the beer's
This is good.
And we can jump right into the typical beer news stuff and talk about the beer.
Yeah.
After, or we can talk about it now. But figured maybe instead of a Busch Light, have ourselves one of these. I actually I had this beer already, the beer we're going to review. Mm-hmm. I said, I got beer, we're fine. Had that. But this beer, I actually stopped because Dr. He's been like, you guys haven't done a red ale. And I was like, tell me the best red ale.
Oh, okay.
And we'll review it today. I'll go get it. I stopped in and they had it. It was Chimay.
Oh.
Well, it said on the bottle.
That's what he recommended?
That's what he recommended. So it said on the bottle something about like the Tempest Monks, and I was like, man, I can't. We did something with Tempest Monks, and like where it's brewed at a monk facility, and I was like, I don't know if we've done this yet. I'm not going to get it. And I didn't bother to check my Untappd, and I saw this, and I was like, I'll get that instead. So I didn't get a red ale. Sorry, Dr. We'll do it eventually.
We should do a red ale.
We should do a red ale. We did one a while back. I think it was a Chicago brewery, Distill maybe.
Yeah, I've been thinking more and more about how the fact that we do need to continue to venture out and review more beers, even if it may not be typically up our alley, so to speak.
We will have two newer, not new varieties of beer. They've been around for centuries, I'm sure.
Centuries.
But new for us.
New for us. New for the Brew Crew Podcast.
That's right.
Speaking of new for the Brew Crew Podcast, I have got a surprise.
Oh, I'm
for you,
happy.
For Matt, and for all the Chuggalos. And I'm happy to announce this surprise when you tune in next week to the podcast.
Oh, geez. All right.
Well, so next
I'm
week...
on the edge of my seat. I'm on pins and needles.
Yeah, I pulled that trick from Master Chef Jr.
Oh, is that... They do that?
They like to...
surprise next week?
Yeah, next week or like right after the commercial break. Do all this build up. If you could add in like some dramatic music, that would be great.
Okay.
You don't have to do that. But yeah, I'm excited. I've got a surprise for everyone, for the Chuggalo Nation out there. And it will be unveiled next week at the podcast.
Well, I'm excited.
Yep.
Wow, what a teaser. Well, that's it. I mean, just wait.
Just wait.
We'll have the rest of our conversation next week. No, we'll finish. Okay. So did you have other beer news, or is that your beer news?
The other beer news, Matt wanted me to pass along. He's got his ear to the street, so to speak.
Definitely.
And he's been hearing that the local fuzz has been really cracking down on establishments serving drinks post 10 p.m.
Yeah.
So I did see in the news that an establishment in Fairborn got popped for that. I've heard of other establishments being visited by law enforcement, or, I don't know if they're undercover. I don't know if they're just police walking in and checking.
I don't know.
I have no idea how they go about doing that. But I guess it is going on. I guess it's going on that enough that establishments are serving after 10, which on one hand I understand, and on the other, I disagree with. But it's just everyone's stuck in a rock and a hard place right now with everything. They're trying to. I don't think anyone's trying to game the system to get rich. They're just trying to make it by.
Just trying to make it. Yep.
And that's unfortunate. That it's just unfortunate.
Yeah.
But
I heard a similar story. I think it was Oregon or Seattle, Washington. There was a brewery so they make the fine reasonable. Mm-hmm. Reasonable enough to where if your business is good, you'll do it. You'll pay the fine.
Yeah, they're not trying to. They're just trying to keep the public safe. From COVID.
Yeah.
And not hurt.
Yeah.
Businesses.
Yeah, I agree.
It's simple.
So a brewery was staying open.
Yeah.
And they got fined like every day.
Oh.
And they're just like, we're fine with this.
Oh.
Because
Okay.
they were selling enough beer. Like, otherwise they said, we either make this much money and then take $250 a day out of that, or we make none.
You're right.
So they chose to just get fined every day.
That's fine if you can just if it's like a parking ticket, as long as they don't repossess the
Hopefully
building
that
or
happen,
take your business license. I think here, if I understand it correctly, and I may be incorrect, because I have not done my homework on this.
Yeah.
But I think you can lose your liquor license if you
yikes!
get,
And those are hard to get in the state.
Yeah. So I'm sure it's a reasonable fine. Mm-hmm. I'm sure it's a couple warnings. I'm sure it's a lot of warnings.
Yeah, probably.
Before they decide to take drastic action and take your liquor license, you've probably got to be like very flagrant about it.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know.
Well, it doesn't make sense. I'll put my 2 cents in. The rules in Ohio, you got to close by 10.
Got to stop.
Or stop serving by 10?
I think stop serving by 10.
Oh, okay.
And then I think close by 11.
Close by 11?
I don't know.
I think, so I talked to a bar owner who has a bar in Springboro, and he is probably going to lose his bar. He was saying he wishes that it was choose your own 6-hour block or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that it's a good idea that, you'd be open, whatever, 10 to 4, that's kind of late, but choose your own block, like just 10 o'clock, like what does that mean? Like what science backs up closing that early? I don't know. And then in New York, I think they do a thing where you can't serve alcohol unless you've purchased food. I don't know if they do that here.
That's I don't know if they do it. I don't think they do it here. You can
get just
you can
alcohol.
go to a bar
Okay.
and drink alcohol.
Okay. That one was weird to me when I heard that.
Other places are like that.
Yeah.
Like Ireland, and I think the UK is like that.
During this or all the time?
During this.
Okay.
Not all the time, no.
Okay. Yeah, that seems like it'd be weird.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't get it, but it's not for me to get.
I think they were trying to shut down bars only.
Oh, okay.
They were allowing restaurants to serve alcohol.
Okay.
But as you lubricate yourself throughout the evening, you begin to relax your guard in other areas.
Okay,
and
that
they
makes
saw
sense. Okay.
Bars as a place where the spread was occurring more
that
rapidly
makes
than in
more sense.
restaurants.
Okay, makes sense. Fair enough. All right.
I don't know. It's a terrible situation.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll
just
pull through it, and if your business doesn't, gosh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. All the chuggalos out there, try to get out there and support your local breweries and local restaurants and all these places. They definitely need your help throughout this situation. Everybody needs to help each other. So that's my PSA for the day.
And I concur.
Good.
Now let me find this story I sent myself because I can't find it. But I do know the gist of it. There's a lawsuit right now pending against Tecate.
Uh-oh.
that they're actually not made in Mexico, that they're made in Holland. I feel like this could be easily proven.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pull up the story because I didn't read the whole story prior to the podcast. I sent it to myself, which was a mistake because now I don't have it.
Maybe Tecate is owned by Heineken or something like that? Or Amstel?
Yeah, maybe. Let me look.
But I don't think they brew Tecate in Amsterdam or in Holland.
I would hope not.
That sounds crazy.
So it says, lawsuit claims Mexican beer Tecate is actually brewed in Holland. The brand was purchased by Amsterdam-based Heineken in 2010. So I'll just gist through this real quick.
Are you a fan of Tecate?
I like Tecate.
Do you like Dos Equis?
I think I like Tecate more than Modelo,
Okay.
but not as much as Dos Equis.
Dos Equis is the best.
I do like Dos Equis more, yeah. That's probably my favorite Mexican beer.
Yeah.
I don't like Corona. I haven't had it in a while, so maybe now that my tastes have evolved, maybe I'd like it. I don't know.
Corona,
yeah. Not a fan.
I don't know, yeah.
But I have had Tecate. Pretty popular in Chicago, Tecate.
Oh, okay.
Popular cooler beer.
Interesting. That's very interesting.
A lot
I
of
wouldn't expect it.
Mexican immigrants and American-born Mexican Americans.
I didn't know they had that big of a footprint in Chicago.
Yeah.
Then, I guess.
Yeah.
I think Dos Equis is probably my favorite, but it's been a long time since I've had any of those beers. I think we need to probably revisit this topic.
We do, yeah.
At some point, we should.
I think we had thought to do one of the taste test things.
Maybe we
beers.
can kick that down the road to like Cinco de Mayo.
Ooh, good idea.
You know, we could have Corona and Dos Equis and Tecate and the whole gambit.
Yep, I like that idea. And Modelo, they come with that foil on the top.
Modelo,
Not
yeah.
a fan.
Not a fan of the foil.
The foil, not a fan of the glue that makes the foil stick to the.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
To the bottle. That's annoying.
Yeah.
And gross.
Yeah, glue is. That's what you eat when you're a kid.
Glue is what you eat when you're a kid. That's right. Yeah, that's true.
When you're an adult and you're drinking booze, you don't want to eat glue.
Nope. I don't want glue on my bottle, and I had 2 dogs, have 1 dog now, and there's hair throughout my house. And when you get a bottle that has like sticky surface, it gets hair on it. And then I feel like I'm drinking hair.
Which inevitably,
it's not like I'm throwing the bottle around, getting hair all over it.
I know,
but
yeah.
just like it just happens when you have dogs. Hair just gets on things.
Gosh, that is true.
It just, you don't know how, you don't know why. You're not a disgusting person. It just happens.
I don't think so. I don't think you're gross.
Thanks. I don't think anyone who has accidentally had hair from their own house end up near or in a drink is a disgusting person. It just happens.
Yeah, especially with animals.
With animals, yeah. That's all the beer news I had.
That's all the beer news I had.
All right, let's talk about, well, other than your surprise, which I won't press.
I'm not gonna let anything loose. So you could
Don't let it loose. So let's talk about this beer then. Let's just jump right in.
Yeah.
Red Poppy by the Lost Abbey. I do like this art. So this is a barrel-aged ale with cherries and poppy seeds added. I don't know if they're added just literally poured in, like nerds, you know?
And then
like a little box of
out.
poppy, and they're like, oh.
Are there poppies in there?
It doesn't look like it.
I
haven't had any in my drinks yet. This is from San Marcos, California.
Do you know where that is?
I don't.
I don't either.
I'm gonna guess north.
North. I was
Northern
gonna guess
California.
south.
You're guessing southern? Yeah, you're probably right.
But you're more familiar with south.
Yeah, I feel like if I've
like you
heard
should
of
know
it,
this.
it's southern, and if I haven't heard of it,
It's northern.
it's northern.
That makes sense.
But
Follow
that's
your
probably
logic.
a bad logic. So I'm gonna look this brewery up if you want to talk about the beer at all.
I do want to talk about this beer.
All right.
I need to paint this picture because Matt did not get to have this.
Yeah.
And Matt would be upset
He'd like this beer.
because this is absolutely in Matt's wheelhouse.
Oh yeah.
It's got that good tingle from the barrel age, but it's not overpowering and gross. To where a lot of barrel age to me I don't like just because it's so heavy with the barrel agedness.
Mm-hmm.
This has got that good kind of crisp fermentation that goes along with it, which I really appreciate. And then, of course, the cherries carries through every single drink. And then lastly, the poppy seeds I don't get.
Yeah.
I think that was like an afterthought. But overall, this is a really fantastic beer. Is that you have a price tag on here? Is that real?
That's what it costs.
That's what this one bottle cost. That is impressive.
It is an expensive beer. $16.99 for this 12.5 ounce bottle.
Yeah, 12.7 ounces for $17.
To be fair, and it's not, but to be fair, the Chimay, which was like I think a 20 ounce bottle, is the same price.
Oh,
so I was going to spend that anyway.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah,
I'm unaware of. I mean, I'm aware of Chimay.
You can get a 4-pack, or you can get one bottle. One bottle is big, maybe 20 to 24 ounces, or you can get 4-pack of like 10 ounce bottles, small ones. They're smaller than this, and that was $20, I think.
Well, I'm really glad you went with the red poppy for the Lost Abbey.
I think I am too.
$17 though. That's
pretty pricey. Hopefully this is barrel aged in the finest barrels.
Yeah, $1 and change per ounce.
That's true. Good math. So what do you think?
I think it tastes like it cost. Expensive. It's delicious.
Yeah.
It's great. I would expect this beer to be expensive, and I would really like to have this along with a fancy meal. I think this would go great with a steak, like a really nice steak dinner. Isn't this great with a steak dinner?
I forgot to mention that. Yeah, this would be great with a steak dinner.
Man, fantastic. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of the beer. I give this beer, I really think this is probably like a 4.5. This is very, very high up there. I don't know if it's a 5. I'm not sure what would get it to a 5. Maybe a little bit more of that fermentation, because I really like that, where it kind of tingles a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of that. So maybe that, but man, 4.5, solid beer.
Yeah. I think we're in the same ballpark. This beer, I've only had a few of these barrel-aged sours. Maybe 3, 4, maybe 5, but probably 3 or 4. And they all have that similar... Like, I feel like so you have a sour, and you know, like, okay, this is like a sour, and it's it kind of brings out the kid in you when you drink beer. Like, this is the kid beer drinker in me. Yeah. Whereas this is like more sophisticated. It has a more sophisticated flavor. You definitely, if you like sours, because the fruit and the sugar brought you to sours, you're not going to like this beer. Right. But if you like sours for kind of what they do with all of the fruit flavors and stuff, then you probably would. But it has just a different taste to it. And I think the one that I can remember most is the Stegosaurus or whatever we had at Urban Artifact.
Yeah.
That was another barrel-aged sour with cherry. And it was a long time ago, but that was instantly when I took a sip, I was like, whoa, this is like that.
Yeah, they're very similar.
There's a little dryness in this one, and I'm typically not the guy who comments on dry versus wet, but if I had to guess, that's the difference between the poppy and not poppy. I don't know. And I don't know that it's actually dryness. Maybe I need someone with a more sophisticated beer history to tell me what that is exactly that I'm tasting. It's not bitterness. And maybe it feels like dryness, but it's more of like a... Gosh, how would I even explain it? It's like a dusty sweetness.
Dusty sweetness. Wow.
It's just like it's weird, hard to explain. It's like if you,
that sounds like a baseball player from the 70s.
Dusty sweetness. Yeah. That does sound like a good baseball player name, or something from like the roller derby or something.
Yeah.
But this beer looks like it is from the Southern California area. They're attached to a pizza shop.
I like that.
Carlsbad Pizza, Port Head Brewer. So this is like 2 breweries, Port Brewery and the Lost Abbey, all in one. There's a huge story. I mean, I'm not even going to read all this, but it starts with, in the beginning, there was Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. So clearly they know that this is a really, really long biography, because you only start a story with the first verse of the Bible if you know that you just wrote a shitload of text.
Yeah.
And it's a joke. So
Don't read. Yeah, I'm glad.
I'm not going to read it, but it's attached to a pizza place, which I think is great. I think steak would be better with this particular beer. They had about 4 or 5 different variations of the Lost Abbey at Arrow, and they were all pretty unique. They weren't like your run-of-the-mill beers. So a pizza doesn't really seem like it would be the go-to. Yeah, definitely Southern. It is way down there. It is like just north of San Diego, right by Carlsbad, if you guys are familiar with California. Carlsbad's kind of like the main suburb. Oceanside, Carlsbad are like the main suburbs of San Diego.
Is it?
Yeah, so,
Unfamiliar.
you know, in Dayton, Cincinnati lingo, it would be like probably 20 minutes from San Diego. But when you live in California, you talk in miles because there are no... Everything's an hour.
Yeah, you can't time anything.
Everything's an hour.
Yeah.
Minimum. So probably an hour. It's probably an hour outside of San Diego. But I liked it. I'm right in the same range as you, 4.5. I thought that this beer, man, I don't know. It shouldn't be sweeter because of what it is. It's barrel-aged sherry sour. But I felt like it left me wanting something sweet.
There's a point where these barrel-aged beers begin to push the limits of being a beer, I think, and they come closer and closer to like a wine almost.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like a carbonated wine.
Yeah, carbonated
I like
wine.
champagne, but because they are typically like over-fermented, so there's more bubbly to it.
Definitely. We've gotten there with some of the grape beers we've had.
Yeah.
Like where it's like, whoa, this might be wine.
Yeah. This one isn't as close to the line as some of those others are, which I like, because when you get closer to that line, then you really begin to, you know, literally blur the line, and you're not sure what you're drinking anymore. Yeah, I still really consider this a beer.
Yeah, this is definitely a beer.
But it's a delicious beer, and Matt really missed out.
Yeah, Matt, you missed out. 4.5 from both of us. It says serving temp 50 to 55 degrees. I wish I would have done that. We'll let the rest of this very little bit warm up. I put it in the snow. For those who don't know, we're recording in December 1st, and it was snowing in Dayton, so I put it in the snow and it cooled.
I think it's fine. I
thought it was great, but I wonder what it's like at 55.
Maybe even better.
Maybe that's why.
Maybe that's how it gets to 5 or 4.
Well, we'll see. We'll let that sit and we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, so I got 2 more. And these ones we can have a whole beer if you want.
Right.
This one is called Golden Jelly Donut Hanukkah Beer. Now Hanukkah's coming up.
That's
December
right.
10th.
So is Kwanzaa.
Oh, Kwanzaa. When is that different every year?
December 26th.
It's always the 26th?
I don't know if it's always, but
I don't know enough about Kwanzaa.
I
looked it up once and then I forgot a lot of what I read. But this is from Hebrew Brewing, and Hebrew is HE''BREW.
I like that.
Which is really
what a great play.
And it says Shmaltz. So I'm not sure. It's called the Chosen Beer, which I like. That's a good motto. Shmaltz Brewing Company. Oh, okay, so maybe this is just a variation. The Hebrew beer.
Hebrew the Chosen Beer.
Hebrew the Chosen Beer.
Brewed
from Shmaltz.
From Shmaltz Brewing Company.
I'll look this up. Maybe it is different. But this is it says a malt beverage brewed with raspberry and cherry and natural flavor added. So I'm not exactly sure what kind of beer, other than Hanukkah beer.
Great.
But it's a Hanukkah beer, December 10th.
So excited.
3, 2, 1.
So I just had a jelly donut.
Did you?
On Sunday.
Oh, on Sunday.
Yes. Not like I just had one.
I thought maybe on the way here you had one.
I had one on Sunday. It's been a while since I've had a jelly donut.
Yeah.
Bear Creek Donuts in Miamisburg. Delicious, delicious donuts. Oh wow, you're making faces.
This is a face-making worthy beer. It has a lot going on.
Yes, it does.
Yeah,
Yes, it does.
Many flavors in this beer. Matt, I do have one of these and the next beer.
This is going to take a
I
while
have for you
to dissect, I think.
Yeah, this is going to take a while. So on a let's talk about Hanukkah. 8 crazy nights.
8 crazy nights.
From what I hear. I've never celebrated Hanukkah. I have an Uncle Steve who is Jewish who married my Catholic aunt.
Very taboo.
And so he's taught me some things about, Judaism, but not a whole lot. Maybe he did and I just forgot a lot of it.
Right.
But I know it's 8 nights. And I hear a lot of jokes about how you get socks.
Oh,
like
really?
One of the nights.
I feel like socks is a common gift for Christmas or Hanukkah.
Yeah, it's a common gift, and through
But that's
all
like a
ages,
dedicated
there's
night?
a different opinion of it.
Oh.
No, I don't think it's a dedicated night.
Oh, okay.
I think that many young Jewish, Jewish children get them and are like, "Damn it!" Always because I think it's one gift a night, so it's like the only thing you get.
Oh.
Whereas on Christmas, you're like, "Oh, socks, throw it back," and then you
You're
open a
still
new
tearing it,
gift.
yeah.
Yeah. But on Hanukkah, it's like, wow, night 4, sock night, whatever.
So you only get one gift. So you only get 8
I think
gifts.
that's how it works. You get one gift a day for 8 days.
That's interesting.
And you light a candle on the menorah,
The menorah.
which I don't know if that has 8 or 9
Oh, that's a good
prongs.
one.
Let me look. There's
And
a
then-
menorah on here. 1, 2, 3.
And then you spin a dreidel,
It's 9.
which is like a top.
You do spin a dreidel, and you sing a song.
Yes. And I don't think during Hanukkah you smash plates. I think that's a different event. Maybe
Yeah, I
that's a
think so.
wedding.
I think a wedding, you step on a glass,
Oh,
like a champagne glass or something.
somewhere you smash plates. I want to go to the one where you smash plates.
Yeah, I want to go to smash. We can smash plates.
Yeah, I know.
We could go to Goodwill and just buy a bunch.
Yeah, but I want to go. I want.
Yeah,
like,
you want it to
celebrate
be a
reason.
celebration.
Yeah. I feel like smashing a plate would be fun, but smashing a plate for a reason would be extra fun.
Yeah, it
Um,
would be.
why is there 8 nights to Hanukkah,
Mm-hmm.
and what are they celebrating during Hanukkah?
That's a good question. I'll look that up while you review the beer.
Yes, please do.
But
Those
I
are hard-hitting
believe it has
questions.
something to do with the Old Testament. Something in there.
Old school.
8 nights.
Mhm.
Definitely nothing with Jesus,
Mhm.
because that's the New Testament.
Even though Jesus was a Jew,
He was
but they don't believe he was the Son of God.
right,
I think.
or a Messiah of any kind.
Yeah.
I believe.
They think he was just a regular
Yeah.
Jewish dude.
Yeah. So I believe, the way, when I was learning about Islam, when I was on my way to go to the Middle East, they were saying, this is just how you consider it's phases. Judaism stops at the end of the Old Testament. Christians believe in all of that plus the New Testament, and then Muslims believe in most of that plus the Quran. And I was like, okay, so it's kind of like one big story. But
Yeah.
for each religion, it's not.
No, absolutely not.
But anyway,
So I'll talk about the beer a little bit.
let me look up this Hanukkah stuff.
So I like the fact, and I know you're going to get into this in the can art,
Yeah.
but it says there's 8 malts in this. It says that there's 8 hops in this.
Mm-hmm.
That is a lot.
That's why I brought up
on.
the 8 days.
That is a lot going on.
A lot of malt.
8 hops, 8 malts,
Mm-hmm.
and those 8 malts and those 8 hops, those carry through into this beer because there's so much going on with this beer.
Oh, yeah.
That it's really difficult for me to kind of deliver a good review of this. So there's gonna be some pauses to
There's
this
some
because I'm gonna
pauses.
keep sipping.
I'll try to throw in
So I have
some
to constantly refresh my palate.
This will remind us a little of what you said last week. Sometimes you just did too much.
Yes. Yes.
4 hops, 5 hops, 8 hops.
8 hops is crazy. So the first thing I want to go ahead and get out of the way right off the bat is the negatives,
Yeah.
because there are negatives to this. The negatives to this is that through the addition of so many things, that there's been some sort of chemical reaction to where it literally tastes like chemicals.
Yeah.
There is a chemically aftertaste upon the immediate sip of the beer
Yeah.
that is not appealing. Because no one really likes to drink chemicals unless you have unless you're like on My Strange Addiction or something like that.
True.
It's just, there's a chemically flavoring to this that is just, it's not appealing. I don't know what the chemical is because I don't drink chemicals. Well, I guess technically I drink chemicals, but they're engineered for us to like.
Yeah. The ones that we drink.
Yes.
Yeah.
These are not engineered for us to like. Now, that's the main negative, and I just wanted to get that out of the way up front. That way we don't have to harp on it too much later on. The positives: jelly donut, golden jelly donut. They did achieve what they advertised. I do get jelly donut, having just recently eaten a jelly donut, whereas previously before that jelly donut, it had been probably a solid 5 to 8 years because I don't remember the last time I ate a jelly donut. Man, it was good.
Yeah.
It's really good. And this beer,
I bet it was.
This beer has those qualities of jelly donut. So it's got the cherry. I can get cherry in there. I can get raspberry. I can get that jelly flavor that they're trying to impart. So good on you for getting that in, plus 8 malts, plus 8 hops. That's just out of this world.
Yeah.
Let's see. So that's raspberry and cherry and natural flavors added. Malt beverage. So maltiness. So there is a maltiness quality to it. I do get that as well. Like a what's a real malty beer?
What is a real malty beer? I'm gonna say, I don't know.
Okay.
But
This is a good
I know
beer
the
podcast.
taste. I know the taste. Yeah, right.
You know what I'm
I know the
saying.
taste. And even though it's not my review time, this is the taste that I associate with high malt beer. Like that maltiness that you taste.
So a while back, I brought in, and I don't remember the brewer, but I brought in the beer Shower Beer.
Yeah, shower beer.
And Shower
Yeah, I
Beer was
remember
pretty
that.
malty.
That was maybe Ellicott? No.
Maybe, I can't remember.
I'll look it up.
But either way, so Shower Beer was
Yeah.
was a little bit more, had more of that malty flavor, and you didn't really care for it. I liked it because it just had more. It just gave like the regular beer flavor more beer flavor, in my opinion.
Okay.
This maltiness kind of fights with the jelly donut aspect of it, so it's kind of like competing flavors going on.
Yeah.
And I don't think that instead of working together, they're working against each other.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a negative. I don't know, but I guess it just depends on your flavor. I don't know. Hanukkah beer, golden jelly donut. I'm gonna have to give this beer probably a 3.25. I think it's fine. For a one and done. I think it's a neat conversation piece, as Matt would like to say.
Yeah.
A lot of fun to drink it and talk about. But after that, I probably wouldn't have any more. I think the chemical flavoring or whatever that keeps coming through is a real turnoff. If there was some way to eliminate that, maybe put in 7 hops instead of 8. But then you go against your little theme there. But then maybe you'd have a better beer. You know, what are you trying to do here? You're trying to sell beer, like good beer, or are you trying to sell a theme? You know,
Yeah.
a really good beer would sell more versus a, kind of a gimmicky theme.
Yeah, that's probably true.
So 3.25, it's neat, it's a lot of fun, but it's a one and done.
One and done.
One and
All
done.
right. Golden Nugget Jelly, or Golden Jelly Donut. Golden Nugget, that's the place. There's a restaurant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Did you eat there?
Yeah, I've had that a couple times.
Yeah.
Like it.
Just classic
breakfast
diner joint.
Real, yeah. Great wait staff.
Yeah.
Another, there's. So I forgot to mention this. I went to Outback Steakhouse yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
I had a gift card to Outback Steakhouse, which is not a place that I go. But we were like, all right, we got to go to Kohl's to get my son some shoes. And there's an Outback right there. Let's use this gift card finally.
As well.
For all this time. I will say they have a house beer. I can't remember what it's called. I think, man, what's another word for the Outback? Like actual Australian word for the Outback? Do you know of any other words for
yeah,
it? The beer's name was something Australian.
The Everglades.
Maybe the Everglades Lager.
They call it the
ale.
Everglades.
They have a blonde ale there that's the house beer. It's made by Outback Steakhouse. It's actually not bad.
That's
Like,
neat.
for a light beer.
I didn't know that.
To eat with a steak, you probably want something a little, I think probably with more flavor.
I want this beer, the Lost Abbey.
Yeah, maybe something fruity.
Yeah.
Something rich. This beer didn't have a lot, but when you look at their menu, the craft beer section says 2 things. It says, give me a second. It says Angry Orchard.
Uh-huh.
That's one. And they have one other one. And it is, I can't remember. what it is.
This is in the craft beer part of the menu.
This is in the craft beer on draft part of the menu. Just 2 beers, and not even beers. Angry Orchard, apple cider, and the other one was Matt's favorite, Blue Moon.
Blue Moon.
Blue Moon.
Blue Moon is
in the craft beer section. This is the craft beer. So keeping in mind that those are the beers that they list under craft beer at Outback Steakhouse, their blonde ale, not bad.
Yeah.
You know, give them a couple, like put them on a high chair,
right,
or a booster seat, and be like, "Good job, like you did it." Not bad.
Hey,
it was a good beer. However, the food, no offense if you work or like Outback Steakhouse, but it's essentially just grease.
It's very.
They're just
greasy.
Serving grease there.
It's very greasy.
I don't know if everyone else agrees with me. The Bloomin' Onion, it's changed. It's changed.
I don't know if I haven't eaten at Outback in forever. The last time I did was probably maybe the same year I had a jelly donut, probably like 5 to 8 years ago.
It's been a long time for me
and
too.
when I did have a Bloomin' Onion, it was just really
it
greasy.
used to be just
God
so,
almighty.
but it was so delicious. It was crunchy, and now it's just like a soggy, greasy.
Soggy, yeah, it's soggy.
It's gross. So Outback, not my biggest endorsement, but not bad on the blonde ale.
Good job.
So I mentioned that because you mentioned something, and I already forgot it.
I mentioned many things.
Yeah, you did. So jelly donuts. There's a thing about jelly donuts. Well, let me go into the can art first.
Okay.
Shmaltz Brewing Company. This is a Hanukkah Beer can art bonus segment brought to you by Chuggalo Mom.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mom. So this is very octagonal and parallelogram, however you'd say that. Lots of parallelograms, lots of octagons. There's some triangles in there too, but there's shapes. And some of those shapes form the Star of David. Some of them don't. Mm-hmm. But the octagon in the middle, that's in the Star of David. There's an octagon in the middle. But maybe all of it is. Maybe I was seeing the parallelograms. See, the way they have these laid out, like there's a parallelogram here, but it's just the distance between 2 Star of Davids.
Yes.
And again, I'm not 100% up to speed on Judaism.
I'm not either.
So the Star of David, I'm not 100% sure what that even signifies. I'm guessing David was like a king or some sort of
he was a boss for sure, and maybe that was his gang sign.
He had a star. Yeah. Ooh, if you could do that with your fingers, that'd be amazing.
I don't know. Well, I mean,
man, I was gonna film this one, but I'm glad we didn't because those signs might get us
for real. Yeah,
might get us in trouble.
Don't want to get us offed. The Jewish mafia.
So they have a bunch of Star of Davids. Blue and white are what they are, and behind those are a bunch of jelly donuts. Behind, like the background of the background noise on this can, is jelly donuts, and they are the traditional jelly donuts that you'd think of when you think of like mass-produced jelly donuts. Places like Dunkin' Donuts, where they put a bunch of powdered sugar or your crystal sugar on the outside, and then they basically just take a nozzle, stick it in the donut, and squeeze a bunch of jelly in.
Yep.
And that's what those donuts are. And that's what I thought of when I thought of jelly donuts. Are the ones here. So, Ohio, I don't know if it's underrated or rated well or overrated, but their donuts here in Dayton are the best of anywhere I've ever been.
There's a couple of local.
You got Stan the Man.
Stan the Man is great.
What's the other one? Jim's, or the one everyone goes to at work?
Bill's.
And then Bill's. And then the one you're talking about.
Bear Creek in Miamisburg is on par with Bill's and Stan the Man for sure.
So we have these great donut places. When I was in Illinois,
Local
donuts were a thing that you didn't think about. You were like, let's go to Dunkin', let's just get a dozen or whatever, and go home. Here, it's like, it's an art.
It's a yeah.
So the jelly donuts that you'd get, are they sugar-coated or are they different?
The jelly donut that I got was powdered sugar.
Powdered sugar, okay.
Yeah.
So those are good. I like that. So that's similar to what's on this can. And then you got the independent brewer, you got the 8 this and 8 that, 8% alcohol, 8 malts, 8 hops. It also says that this is kosher certified. So
that's important.
If you are much like we talked about Wild Ohio being gluten free, if you're into kosher, what's not kosher about beer? typically?
I don't know.
Kosher it's about pork, right?
No. Kosher is about all food.
It's about all food,
yes.
and it's killed humanely. Is that how kosher works?
Yeah, and just I think it's the production, the production of the food itself. Even though a lot of kosher food is mass produced, it's something against mass production.
Okay.
And I'm sure Jewish people out there are like, these guys are
there's
idiots.
People screaming at us right now.
Idiots.
I want to know. I wish I knew more. I wish I knew more. Let's just put it.
We readily admit that we're idiots on this,
we're idiots.
and feel free to educate us on this as much as you
want.
Matt
probably has some insight. He'll give it to us.
He's gonna
know all about kosher. But I do think that Hebrew National hot dogs are some of the best that you can buy in the supermarket.
Oh, I think kosher means that it's all of the production is handled by Jewish people.
Oh, is that so? Okay.
I think that maybe that was it. Obviously,
I thought that was halal. I think that's a Muslim thing.
That's a Muslim thing.
Let's look it up.
I know we have these crazy technological devices.
All right, let's figure this out. Because I think that's halal, but it might be kosher. I thought kosher was just killed humanely, and if that's the case, then all beer is pretty much kosher, unless you're drinking meat beer.
Yeah, or you like really, really fucking take out that malt when you cut it down. You're really mean to it. You know, really fucking punch those hops.
Why do they always tell like a huge story on these food websites? Like, it could easily just say, like, what is kosher? It could easily say kosher is blah, blah, blah. Kosher is this great diet thing that Jewish people like to
normally
do.
Google
blah, blah,
says
blah.
that. Normally.
Usually, but not with this. Not with kosher. It's
jerks.
like, let's look at WebMD.
Let's make it real complicated. Thanks, Google.
Yeah, thanks, Google.
We're supposed to make our lives easier.
Rooted in history and religion, each specific what you can and can't eat. Yeah, I know that, but what is kosher? It governs what you eat, what you can't eat, how you prepare your meals. Yeah, I know, but what does it mean?
Right.
Let's see. Kosher foods aren't just for Jewish. Okay, I get it.
I've always
Jeez
used
Louise, how is this not just telling me what it is?
I've always used the word kosher, and I think the larger audience of non-Jewish people use the word kosher as a compliment to food, as it's like premium. You know, like this is kosher.
Oh, definitely. It's always food. Premium. It's always premium.
This is kosher.
That's how I consider the Hebrew National hot dogs.
They're delicious.
They're the best. They're the premium hot dogs at the supermarket. The only way to get a better hot dog is to go to a hot dog.
I do like Nathan's. Do you like Nathan's?
I like Nathan's too. I consider them to be equals.
Oh, okay.
Like maybe Nathan's aren't kosher.
Right.
But I consider them to be the top tier of supermarket hot dogs.
Yes.
The only way to get better if you've ever had Vienna beef hot dogs.
I've never had that. I'm a huge fan of Nathan's.
So
my kids don't like hot dogs, so I never eat them, which is unfortunate. Like what? How did I go wrong as a father that my kids don't like kids love hot dogs?
Yeah.
But my kids
my kids like hot dogs, yeah. Because you can really do anything with it.
I know.
Like, I know Matt's against most condiments, but like, if you like mustard, you can put mustard on. If you like ketchup, you can put ketchup
on. Anything.
If you like cheese, you can put cheese on. If you like chili, you can put chili on. Like, you could do anything with a hot dog to make it even better.
You know what the crazy thing is that I used to do with a hot dog when I was a child?
What's that?
I put mayonnaise on it.
On a hot dog?
Isn't that disgusting? Now, I've tried it recently.
Yeah, it sounds disgusting to me.
But as an adult, I tried that, and I was like, what the fuck?
It sounds really
I would, on long car rides, from South Carolina to Mississippi or to Arkansas to visit family, way back in the day in the South, they had these places called Howard Johnson's, Hojo's. It was a hotel, and it was also a restaurant. And they had like big monstrous hot dogs, and I used to always we'd stop at a Howard Johnson or a Shoney's.
Oh man, Hojo. Yeah, hell yeah.
And I would
Shoney's. Bringing it back.
Right. This is old school.
Great. Yeah.
Tapping into like the old timey years.
Yeah.
But I would get a Hojo hot dog, and I would fucking put mayonnaise on it, man. It's so disgusting.
I didn't know Hojo had hot dogs.
Delicious hot dogs.
The idea of mayonnaise makes me sick. But I feel like because you have like a lot of eggs, you could make a mayonnaise that would not make me.
Yes,
feel sick.
homemade. Yeah, homemade mayonnaise is delicious.
I bet there's a way to do it that would just be insane.
Just whipping them. Yeah.
I've never had homemade mayonnaise, so I'm going off Hellman's here. But like dips, mayonnaise-based dips, I always go with the sour cream-based dips. Because mayonnaise-based dips, they make me want to vomit. Because mayonnaise, for some reason, it makes you sick. It's gross. It's like fat.
It's a lightning rod condiment. It's a lightning rod condiment.
Yeah.
It's nothing but fat.
Nothing but fat. Yeah.
I love fat.
Oh, I love fat too. But something about mayonnaise is different. Right. I think it's because mayonnaise has an audible quality.
Mayonnaise.
You can hear it.
Oh yeah.
You can hear mayonnaise. Yeah. When you mix it, when you spread it, it just sounds gross.
That's an interesting perspective.
I wonder if that is with other foods.
What's kosher?
Kosher is not as cut and dry as I thought it was.
Oh my gosh.
So to qualify as kosher, mammals must have split hooves. So I'm guessing pigs and cows. Do cows have split hooves?
I don't know.
I don't know anything about the hooves of most animals. And they must chew their cud. What's cud? You know what cud is?
The grass.
The food?
Yeah.
Oh, the grass. So they must chew it. So I guess swallowing whole is not an option. Fish must have fins and removable scales to be kosher. And only certain birds are kosher.
Okay.
So it's not easy. It's not easy. Just like it's kosher if it's humanely killed. Maybe that's halal. Maybe I was wrong on the halal part, and I'm not looking that up because this is about Hanukkah.
Oh, the cloven hoof.
Yeah.
It's got to have two.
It's got to have two.
You can't have one. You can't eat a horse.
Can't eat a horse, right? And I'm guessing you can't eat a human because we have 5.
Yeah, you can't eat humans.
Can't eat human. Can't eat horse. And only one thing in between is good, too.
Well, I'm out, because I love horses and I love humans.
You love horses? Yeah, I've heard human meat can be.
Like I said, I was a kid. I ate glue. Glue is from horses.
Oh, glue is from horses. Yeah, I've heard that. So this beer, so that's the can out boner segment. It was a good one today. Today, it was a good one.
That one devolved quickly.
Hanukkah is the celebration of the rededication, and of course Google closed it on me. It's the king who oversaw this victory in a war victory basically said you'll celebrate for 8 days, and they do that.
And it just happened to coincide.
It has something to do with Judea,
with Jesus.
No, it has nothing to do with Jesus.
But it happens to coincide with the fact.
Oh,
that
it happens
Jesus'
in the
birthday.
calendar year.
Yes,
it does seem to overlap Christmas often.
Does it change? Does it shift?
Yeah, it shifts.
Oh, shit.
Because the Jewish calendar, the Hebrew calendar, or whatever calendar we're talking about, is different.
Because they didn't account for leap years.
Correct. No one could have predicted the Aztecs or the Mayans or whoever made the calendar. We're going to do it right.
They were advanced.
They were way advanced. I forgot to mention there's a menorah on here that has your 9 lit flames, but
shit's lit.
This is it gives the illusion that it's a solar system model. I'm not sure if you get that same impression.
Oh, I like it.
Because most menorahs have 4 flat candles on each side that are the same height, and then one in the middle that's super high. But this one looks to be like a solar system, and there's this jelly eye that's like the sun.
Wow.
Or just like a Jupiter or something.
That's or Planet X.
It's all just art illusion. But I think the best part about this is the Hebrew. Hebrew is it's cool the way they did that.
Yeah, good job, guys.
So anyway, that's the can bonus segment. The beer itself, very malty. I can't taste much hops, or at least what I traditionally think are hops.
8.
Yeah, 8.
Maybe it was one single strain of hops, and maybe they literally put in only 8
just
hops.
8 hops. Ooh, I like
8
that.
actual hops that are like
That's possible.
this big.
I should look that up while we're drinking the next beer. So this is out of Elmsford, New York. Shmaltz Brewing Company. They actually were rated one of the top 100 breweries in the United States.
Shmaltz Brewing Company is a great name. I don't know if that is a real
Shmaltz,
name
because of malts.
Right, Shmaltz.
So they're out of Clifton Park, New York. I've never been to New York City, so I don't know like
Clifton Park is big time.
And stuff. They produce Hebrew beers, which I guess is a type of beer that's probably kosher.
Kosher. No hooves.
They were acquired by Boston Beer Company in 2013, but they've been around since 1996.
Nice.
So I wonder if, as
school.
the resident old school brewery knowledge master, Matt would know anything about Shmaltz.
Shmaltz.
Like, because he talks about the OGs a lot.
He does. Yeah, he is an OG.
They've been around since 1996. And that's that. They've got accolades. They've also submitted to the Great American Beer Festival, which is in Cincinnati each year, right? Great American? No, that's Colorado.
Great American is the ballpark in Cincinnati.
Oh, the Great American Beer Festival
Great American
is
Beer Fest is in
one.
Denver, Colorado.
Denver, yeah, okay. My bad. Anyway.
It's the booze talking.
I messed
now.
it up.
It's the booze talking.
The one thing I like about jelly donuts, and it's also been about 8 years, is that the jelly inside a jelly donut is unique. You can't buy this jelly in the store.
Absolutely not.
It's like, I don't know what it is, but it's like it is just weird. It is like this, it's not gelatinous. It's so, because it's like thick liquid. It's like plasma. But there's no fruit in it.
I never ever get it. And then for whatever reason, I got it.
Yeah.
I went and got an assorted dozen, and I get 6 for my kids because they like very specific ones, and then I get 6 for all of us to have, but they're mainly mine.
Yeah, right.
And I got a jelly donut. Just you start to run out of options. You're like, I'll have this and I'll have that because it's kind of your go-tos.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Give me a jelly donut.
Yep.
Delicious.
Oh,
Delicious.
I'm
but
gonna
you're
get
right.
one
That jelly
soon.
in there is absolutely not like jelly that
It's
you get out of a
unique to
Smucker's
donuts.
jar or
Nope.
anything like that.
Yep, it's unique to donuts. You can't get it anywhere. I'm not sure what it is. It's neither a liquid nor a solid.
No.
But it's in between. It is so good. I typically stick with cake donuts. I love cake
delicious.
donuts. That's why I haven't had a jelly donut in so long, but I think I'm going to get one.
You should.
Here maybe next weekend. I need a day to recover because I think that's going to put me over my sugar intake.
You're going to enjoy the jelly donut.
I'm going to get it. Stan the Man's right down the street.
Yep.
But I do like jelly donuts. I love the jelly in it, and that jelly, like its uniqueness in texture, has a unique flavor, and this beer does deliver that. That's one thing I think you mentioned. That's one thing that I'm going to mention. It does deliver the jelly donut flavor. It just, however, does have a lot going on right at the front. Right when you first take that first sip, and every sip, right on the front end of those drinks, it's like 100% malts. And it's that maltiness that you'd expect when you hear malt. You're like, what does malt taste like? It tastes like this beer.
When you crack a can of Shmaltz, you're going to get malt.
You're going to get malts. But on the end, the flavor it leaves, it's so good. I'm a little higher than you. I'm at 3.75. I think that the actual taste of the liquid beer is not great. But the taste of the air that you breathe out later is so good.
Oh.
That's the jelly donut.
That's
the exhale is the jelly donut.
That's an interesting perspective.
The liquid is not. 3.75. I really like it, but it is a one-off. You're right.
It is. That's the one.
It's just too much to handle. There's too many flavors going on. Like I just took my last sip of that can, and I had like 5 thoughts simultaneously. Like here's this, that. Okay.
Yeah,
it's just too much.
It's too hard.
It's too much. And I'm sure Shmaltz does a lot of good things.
Do you get the chemical?
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a chemicalness to it. That's mixed in with that first initial taste.
It's just so off-putting. Like,
yeah.
It's hard to.
What is it though?
For me, it's hard to overcome.
I think it's
formaldehyde,
plastic maybe.
Plastic.
I don't know. What is that
lead
chemical?
paint?
Lead paint, maybe. Beer 2.
I think lead paint.
Beer 3.
I think lead paint is kosher.
Lead paint would be kosher as long as there's no. Well, what's in it? Pig? Anything? Any animals of any kind? Any mammals? Fish? Birds?
Well, it's paint, so there are hydrocarbons.
Okay.
So like dinosaurs and shit.
Oh yeah.
Dinosaurs had hooves.
Dinosaurs had hooves.
Fuck.
We don't know that. They're reptiles.
Well,
right?
they had like.
They might have 3
weird toe
like the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
3's too many to be kosher.
Damn.
According to Google. All right, so this is Stay Puft Brown Ale from Wild Onion Brewery. This is from my mom again.
I love.
Chugalo Mom brought this.
Very excited.
The onion, what's interesting about this is that it's a brown ale and it's marshmallow. And that the name of the brewery is Wild Onion. So there's like a lot going on here. Wild Onion is a bad name for a brewery.
It is a terrible name.
A terrible name. 3, 2, 1. I do have one of these for you as well.
I love wild onions.
Ooh, it does smell like
I love wild onions.
Holy shit.
But Wild Onion Brewery sounds terrible.
Yeah, it sounds.
I don't want onion beer.
I don't want onion beer.
I don't want.
You know
onion
what? I
beer.
bet you someone's done it and someone did it well.
I don't know if they've. Well, I would argue the opposite of that.
Well,
I first off, I want to see an onion beer, and then second off, I want to see one that's good. And by seeing it, I want to drink it.
yeah,
I love onions.
I love onions too. I do love onions. I like all the different varieties
Onion family.
so far.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with this beer too. Man, this is like a palate buster day.
This makes me unzip my jacket.
Yeah, you can take that jacket off if you want. You don't have
serious.
to be temporary. You can be a long-term stayer. Brewed and canned by Wild Onion Brewery, and this is out of Lake Barrington, Illinois.
Do you know where that is?
Yes. Barrington
Please
is...
explain.
There's 2 places in Illinois, in the Chicagoland area that they call it, that are elite. Essentially, I don't know what the elite part of New York is, but like the Beverly Hills in California of Illinois.
Understood.
There's Hinsdale and Barrington. Those are the 2 towns that are like the Beverly Hills of Illinois, of Chicago. And Barrington is unreal. I mean, between houses, there's a long way. But you go there to trick or treat because you're getting full size. Bars. You're getting king size candy bars. And Walter Payton lived in Barrington.
Oh, okay.
So this gives you some indication of
That
like if
sums
you're
it
a
up right
celebrity,
there.
you live in Barrington or Hinsdale.
WP.
Most of the, you know how the like college coaches are all like the most paid state employees in every state.
I didn't know that, but yeah, it makes sense.
Well, in Illinois, most of the coaches for all the pro teams and the college teams mostly live in Hinsdale, but Barrington would be your close second. Anyway, so I do know where it is. It's north. It's somewhere around Northwestern University.
Okay.
Maybe south. I don't know. Guessing.
Northwestern is an
But
expensive school.
it's basically what I'm saying is that this brewery is in an elite area.
So if it's an elite area, then they have elite clients, which means that they're going to
Probably.
have, I would say that they most likely have elevated palates
No.
in demand.
Hopefully. You'd think.
Well, I would think.
You'd
I would
hope.
think.
You'd hope.
I would think that they do.
Yeah.
And I would think that they demand a higher quality product.
Well, if you were a beer snob, if you personally were one,
Yeah.
where would you want to go for your beer? Like there's a brewery in, let's say there's 3 breweries in the like poorest community, the most middle class, and the most wealthiest community. Which one, knowing nothing about the breweries themselves, which one would you choose? Like, because you just have this bias that says this one will be better.
Oh, no. I don't
have that based on what neighborhood they're in?
No.
Okay.
I'm saying for them to survive as a business, that their products should be fucking good because they're probably going to charge a lot of money for it.
Oh, well, that's a good point. This actually was a normal price, I believe.
So I'm assuming the brewery itself, if it's very close.
You went a different direction than I did.
Yeah. I assume that their clients are probably
Yeah.
very close locals, which means that they obviously have a lot of money, which means that they probably charge higher fees for their wares. And if you're gonna do that, then it shouldn't suck.
It shouldn't suck.
That's what I mean.
That's a good point.
I didn't mean to like stereotype
No.
neighborhoods because I don't give a shit
I'm not
where
saying
the
you're
brewery
stereotyping.
is.
What I'm saying is that in order to succeed, much like you're saying, you should draw people in.
Yeah. Of
Now,
course.
no one's gonna go somewhere except when I went to Whiskey Hill, that you know nothing about it, right? You want to have a reputation, but
If you drove through,
If
you
you're
drove
like
through
going-
Dayton and you didn't know shit about Dayton, would you stop at Branch and Bone?
good question. Me personally, probably. I would
Yeah.
Google breweries.
Sure.
And then I would go there because it's a brewery.
Right, and
'Cause
you
I
would
did that.
you would go
I've
there
done that in other cities.
You would go there regardless
Yeah, regardless of where it is.
But based on appearances, and if you're not from there and you didn't do your research, but you heard like, hey, this brewery's got really good beer, and you drove up,
you'd be like, whoa.
I really think that other people would give it second thought. I mean, Wayne is not a great street, dude.
No, Wayne's not a great street, but you have a few things on Wayne that are pretty well recognized.
Well recognized, but yet once again, highly regarded. Sure, they've got great reputations.
You're right. If you know nothing about it,
if you don't know anything about it,
right?
You know, and you're just going strictly on face value of what you see and the appearances.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So where in Dayton, if you knew nothing about Dayton, what brewery would you choose if you could only choose one and you know nothing?
If I could only choose one and you know nothing. Like downtown Dayton. We could go like Miamisburg to Troy if you want, like huge area. If you know any breweries in this region, which one are you choosing knowing nothing? It just blank slate. You're like, that's the one I'm going to choose. That's difficult because I know everything
because you
about
know
these
too much.
breweries.
I would say that probably it would be a place like Warped Wing.
Yep, I would say it's something that has. I mean, once again, I'm going to jump on Google and if it's a complete blank slate, if I've never been to Omaha and I go to Omaha because I've never been there, the first thing I would do is Google breweries.
Yeah.
The next thing I would do is I'd look at the number of reviews and then the number of stars, and then I'd read the reviews.
Yeah,
and I would mainly focus on the negative reviews.
That's what I do.
I don't read the positives because if you've got thousands of positives, I want to see the negatives. Why were they negative?
Yep. Yeah, that's a good point. So with Barrington, this is an interesting argument. I feel like you're probably right in that your regulars are the wealthier patrons. But in order to succeed and thrive, you need to draw.
Well, it's hard to draw people to a brewery when you name it Wild Onion.
Definitely. That's a good point.
Because...
So get back on track here.
First off, you've named your brewery after an ingredient that isn't common to brewing, right?
No.
I mean...
That we've established. we couldn't figure it out.
I cannot recall an onion beer ever in my life. So there's that. That's already a challenge. I'll go ahead and review this beer.
Yeah.
So brown ale is typically not one that I go to. However, over the years, I have grown to really appreciate some brown ales. This one takes my appreciation to another level.
Ooh.
This is a delicious brown ale. I am very happy with it. This is a DBC, not Dayton Brewing Company, but our friend DBC.
Oh, okay.
This is right up DBC's alley.
Dayton Buyers Club.
Yep. He would give this a 5 over and over and over.
You think? I don't.
Oh, yeah.
I've never actually
He's a brown ale
had a
guy.
conversation with him about.
He's a brown ale guy. Every time he submitted in the beer club, not every time, but more often than not, he would submit a brown ale.
He likes brown ales. Okay.
If there was a brown ale submitted, you know who submitted it. So he would love this beer.
Yeah. Well, I'll give him one. I got a bunch.
And I would agree with him because this is a great beer. Stay Puft by Wild Onion, brown ale infused with marshmallow. It's absolutely infused with marshmallow. This is like a s'mores. This is marshmallow and chocolate. I mean, this is fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
I'm disappointed that it's a 12 ounce. I wish this was a 16 ounce because I want to drink more of it. It's a great beer. I mean, I don't know what to say other than the fact that it's delicious. It is a good golden deep brown ale. It's extremely smooth. It's not overly sweet from the marshmallow, but you can clearly taste the marshmallow in it. The brown ale portion of it, the base of it is extremely complementary to the marshmallow itself. So, I mean, for a fall wintry beer, man, this is fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah.
This is, man. This is really, I'm debating right now, there's an argument in my head between 4.5 or 4.75. Which one is it? You know, I'm not sure. One more sip and I'll solidify it.
Yeah, one more sip and I'm going to figure out what this name means.
Gosh,
it means something.
Man, this is a 4.75. Unequivocally, this is extremely crushable. I mean, you can take massive gulps of this beer and not like slow down or miss a minute.
Yeah.
You know, this is great. Shit, it's a 5.5. So there's no booze carrying through. It's just, gosh, that's a good freaking beer.
What was your score?
4.75.
4.75. Yeah.
You have another one for Matt?
Yeah, I do have one for Matt
good.
of this and the Hanukkah beer, and I hope he will partake. So, the name Wild Onion is in honor of the origins of Chicago's name, Chequagua. It's Che. How would you say it? Chequagua. Is that cow? You think? Chequagua. Okay, I don't know this, and I'm from Chicago. Was the phrase the origin inhabitants of the region, the Potawatomi, which I do know, Potawatomi, used to describe the wild onions that grew throughout the area's wetlands near the shores of Lake Michigan. This brewery happened to love the imagery of early French-Canadian fur traders paddling their canoes down the Chicago River surrounded by the distinctly aromatic wild onions as they approached the big lake. We believed it was the perfect name for a new brewery with old ties to the city. Not a great name for a brewery, and that's okay, because we're wrong. They've also been around since 1996. They're actually one of the first Chicago breweries. Craft breweries.
I'm
Couldn't believe it. Their first beer was brewed in 1996.
Unbelievable.
They built their brewery using dairy tanks, scavenged from the fields of northern Wisconsin. So that's a long way, northern Wisconsin. So they basically did what Illinoisans do. They stole from Wisconsin.
Yes.
Brought it down, said, fuck it, we're going to do it.
Claimed it as their own.
So this brewery's been around for a long time. Looks like they've got they're going all the way back to Prohibition with this history. I don't know anything about that. You can't be from 1996 and then talk about Prohibition.
In the beginning, yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
Wild Onion is a terrible name.
Wild Onion is not a good name for a brewery, and here's proof. I'm from Chicago. I lived there my whole life until I was 20.
And you've never heard of them?
Never heard of them. And we've visited Chicago. Mm-hmm. We've been to Chicago breweries. I've gone back and specifically gone on brewery trips to find unique beers.
Yeah.
Never.
When we went there, you weren't like, dude, we gotta go to Wild Onion.
Never touched Wild Onion. And I did not know they've been around since 1996. That's bad. So, name, it just doesn't stick out. But the beer does. It's 5.5% alcohol. Stay Puft Brown Ale. This is the first time, I believe, this is the Can Art Boner segment brought to you by Chugga Mom. This is going to be something, I don't know if you noticed. This might be the first combo can we've ever had. There is a printing on this can, which I believe they use for all their cans. Then there's a sticker. This is the first time I've ever seen where the can actually is the brewery's can. I wish I could show the YouTube up here.
Oh my gosh.
But the sticker itself is for the specific beer. That's interesting. I've never seen that. So they actually went to great lengths to paid the money to have printed cans, but then made labels, sticker labels.
It's
interesting.
Incredible, because I do like the can itself.
Yeah, I like the can.
I like the
color
label.
is
I
great.
like the label
the
itself
color
as
of the
well.
can is good.
The can's fantastic.
So the Stay Puft label is the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters, which is a fictional marshmallow mascot for a fictional marshmallow company. But Stay Puft, I believe, has been released under a popular marshmallow company. I don't know a lot about marshmallows. But he's basically in a sailor outfit, and he's evil looking and 1,000,000 feet tall. Mm-hmm. In this case, his head's on fire, and there's some burning going on at the top. I do like my marshmallows a little charred.
I do too.
Yeah, I think
the char is where it's at.
Brown's good, but like there's a couple bits being like black charred.
Yeah,
like
not fully charred.
Not fully charred. No, I don't want like burned
A
marshmallow.
little bit of char, and then that gooey center.
Yeah, gooey center. Yep, it's awesome. And then so that's basically your Stay Puft Marshmallow Man is the logo for this can. Now, that's the can art bonus segment. Interesting can because it's printed and sticker.
That's got to be a first.
And this is cool. The little logo here
The logo is really neat.
Chicago skyline, Sears Tower, and a hop under the Sears Tower growing roots under Chicago.
So what I really want to know is so this Wild Onion Brewery from Illinois has this logo.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's the Chicago skyline.
Yeah.
And then below it is a bunch of roots growing out from underneath it. And in the center of that is a small little hop. What's funny is that a very fast-growing coffee company, you've probably had it and you didn't know it. It's called Rooted Grounds.
Okay.
They're out of Cincinnati. And they have a logo that is extraordinarily similar.
Really?
It is the Cincinnati skyline, and then it's called Rooted Grounds, which means in the logo it's got these roots growing out of it. I'm very familiar with this company, and I love the coffee. It's delicious. But the similarities of their logos are
I bet
unmistakable.
And I'd actually say in this situation that the Cincinnati one's probably better suited because Barrington's too far from Chicago. And while onions do lay roots,
that's true.
I just the logo. I think it's a stretch to go from Wild Onion to what they've drawn, which is hops with roots under the city of Chicago, which is too far from Barrington, even though their name comes from this mythical Wild Onion journey up the Chicago River or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I don't like their backstory.
Yeah, their backstory is kind of weird. And the Chicago River has its own legacy. It doesn't need you. But I'm not offended. I like this beer. It's really good. There's different marshmallow flavors. There's the marshmallow. A cold marshmallow is worse than a hot marshmallow. A hot marshmallow still isn't as good, in my opinion, this is just opinion, as marshmallow spread. I forget what that stuff's called.
I think it's just called marshmallow spread.
Marshmallow spread?
I think it's just called marshmallow, but it's in a jar.
Yeah, it's in a jar. God, my kids call it something else.
That stuff's good.
It's good. I think it's better than actually eating a marshmallow. This has that flavor, that sweetness, that smoothness, that creaminess that comes with the spread.
The spread is sweeter.
The spread is sweeter. Yeah, it's creamier, sweeter, I think. And this has that flavor. The brown ale, you're right. It comes off chocolatey. It has just a delicious bitterness, not a bad bitterness. It is this beer.
It's so complimentary. That's the
thing. If you could introduce graham cracker, which you almost actually, there's some. This is more s'mores than anything, but it's more. I don't know.
So many.
If you could just get this, man, this beer is so good.
How many times have you seen s'more beers?
Yeah,
you see them all the time.
But that chocolatey
bitterness, they never get it right. They never get it right. This is the closest thing to a s'mores.
Yeah, this is the closest.
You could have said s'mores, and everyone would have been like, "Oh yeah, I get the graham cracker."
I get that. Yeah,
no.
It's in there. But the marshmallow is the star of the show, and I'm interested about DBC. I want to give him one of these and see.
He would love this. If he didn't like this, I would be really shocked. I'd be upset.
I'm curious about the brewing process. They say infused with marshmallow, not just like marshmallow flavored. So there's a lot going on here. It's a good beer. I was bouncing back and forth between 4.5 and 4.75. I was bouncing between 5 and 4.75.
Wow.
So I'm up there as well. I'm also going 4.75. But I always there was one episode where you were like, well, what would make it a 5? And if you can't think of why it's not a 5, then you are just fooling yourself. And every time I take a drink, it's so good. Who knew that a brown ale was the background that marshmallow needed? Apparently, Wild Onion.
Okay, all right. Here's the question: if you didn't know it was a brown ale and this was a blind taste test, what kind of beer would you think this is?
That's a good question. It's going to show my noviceness, but a porter.
I would say a stout.
You'd say a stout. You go even that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. See, I'd say a porter. Okay. So we're right on the same track.
If it was a blind taste test and someone just gave me a couple of ounces of this beer and I had a sip or two to deal with it, I would think that it's a stout.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
It's got good. Stouts have that chocolateiness.
Yeah, they do. You're right.
You know, that little bit of maltiness to it. Man,
good beer. I'm going to stick with my 4.75.
There you go.
I don't know why. I think it's because I don't know. I won't drink the whole 6-pack. Like there's a couple beers that I'll buy where I'll be like, no, you can't have this.
Right.
Like I'm keeping these for myself. Yeah. This isn't one of them. Like I want other people to taste it. So I think that's why it loses 2.25. Is that I'm willing to give it to DBC and Matt.
I think that's a valid reason.
That's the only reason.
I think that's a valid reason.
I think like the orange creamsicle that we had many moons ago, I was like, no, I'm keeping these for myself.
Yeah,
I did.
You would like spread the gospel.
Yeah,
but you would say, go find your.
I'd be like, go get it. It's at Era.
Yeah. This
is mine.
Physically share.
Yeah,
and say, here, have this. Yeah, have this beer.
So I liked it 4.75 and 4.5. Or no, what did I give this? 3.75. 4.75, 3.75, and then a 4.5 on the. And I never explained the can art. Now it's warmer. Let's split the rest.
Oh, that's right.
Let's split the rest of this. Now that we have some other flavors in our. There we go. You're gonna get all the poppies. Whoops.
The table's gonna get
the table. Sorry about that. Spilled a little bit. It's this is gonna taste different.
It's gonna taste
with all these flavors we had.
So many flavors,
but it's warmer. It tastes the same.
Brings out the sour punch a little bit.
Yeah,
I think
now that we had that bitter chocolate, it's a little different. But I never explained the can art. It's a rose. Okay, there's the can art or a poppy flower. Yeah, not a rose. And they wear those in England, right? On Veterans Day? Their Veterans Day?
Yes.
They wear a poppy.
The poppy.
Yeah. What's the significance of that? Do you know?
I don't know.
I don't either.
They love heroin?
Maybe. I think it has to do with dying in a field or something. It's like in memoriam. Anyway, I don't have a segment 3, but we've had a pretty hefty episode.
It's been.
I don't have a game or anything.
We did a lot of heavy lifting.
So, if you got nothing else.
I got nothing else.
That's it. This was a beer review episode.
I'm satisfied.
Good. I'm satisfied as well. We got a big surprise coming next week.
Big surprise.
Big surprise. I don't know what it is.
So excited.
I have no idea. I'm really excited to hear it. It will probably be in the church room, not here. Unless Matt wants to come here. I'd love to show him the house.
I know, yeah, man. I would love for him to see your house as well.
Someday he'll see it. Someday, maybe. Other than that, big surprise next week. We have a live episode coming.
Live drink along.
This is a big deal. This is a big deal. I forgot to put this on Facebook. Not that I forgot, but I remember you had a conflict one of the 2 weekends we discussed.
Yes.
Which weekend did we decide to do it? The 19th or the 12th?
The 12th.
The 12th. December 12th, everyone. And I will put this on Facebook. I'll put this on Instagram and Twitter and everything. We're going to do a live drink along. Another live drink along.
Juggalos unite.
If you have a suggestion, you want us to drink a certain beer, well, then you're going to have to send it to us because we're not going to go buy it. If you want to play a game, if you want to ask questions, whatever you want, let us know on social media. And that's it. Live drink along, December 12th. All 3 of us will be in our own homes.
Yes.
So we can drink the night away.
as much as
We
we
will
want.
not be limited by how much we can drink. With the ability to sober up in time to drive. We're going to be at home. That's it. Live drink along. You guys have been asking. We're delivering.
That's it. We deliver. If you want to see nudity, we'll switch it to OnlyFans.
OnlyFans. Oh, that's a good. I heard people make a lot of money.
Lots of money
website.
on OnlyFans.
Man, I wonder how
That's
much
where
money
it's
I
at.
can make.
Probably
we have
tens of dollars.
an eclectic group of people on this podcast.
Yes.
Matt's fully shaven.
Yes, he is a hairless.
I'm not. And I
I'm
don't
a
know where
mix.
you are.
I'm a
'cause
ratio.
You don't talk about your hair much.
I'm a mix.
You're a mix. You're a mix. You're groomed.
I'm groomed.
I'm not like just like since birth haven't shaved anything. I'm just saying I'm not fully shaven like Matt. Like Matt's like just like clean.
Matt's like a naked mole rat.
Like a naked mole rat. If that's what you want, Matt's OnlyFans is at Matt OnlyFans. Brew Crew Podcast. I don't know what his handle is. I'm sure it's out there.
At Matt Naked Mole Rat.
At Matt Naked Mole Rat, OnlyFans.com. December 12th, we're doing a live drink along. Please join us. Last time was awesome. Hopefully we'll get more people this time. And we're going to try, Dr. wants us to do like so that he could zoom in. He wants to like be on camera.
He wants to zoom in.
I don't know about zoom, but he wants people to see his face.
For the drink
when he
alongs?
asks the question. Like, so we had it so where you type in a question. We'll figure out the technology. We're all tech whizzes. We're like,
oh yeah,
all Zuckerbergs.
We'll just code it up.
We'll code it up. We're coding it up right now, actually. Beep, 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 beep. That's it. We coded it. You can ask the question in person. That's it. Any parting words?
Nope. That's it. Good to go.
All right. Brew Crew Podcast, episode 116. Thanks for joining us. That's it. Bye.